and welcome to another video. All right, guys, so we got a new video, new project, and it's all due to the fact that I've been playing a new game called Gran Turismo 7, and there's a phenomenal car in the game that I've been enjoying to drive. It's the NSX GT500. It got a really cool Epson livery on it, and I found a Tamiya kit from it, so we're gonna be building it. So in this video, we're gonna be going over unboxing, we're gonna review all the parts, we're gonna prep the sprues, wash them real quick, give them a nice prime coat, and then we're gonna start working on the body prep as well as the cockpit. So in this video, we're gonna take care of the cockpit. We're gonna do all of our black painting first out of the way. A lot of these parts in this kit are black, so getting that out of the way first eases up a lot of things. And then I got a neat trick for you guys with carbon fiber. You're not going to be using any decals in this hack. This is just painting and use of a pantyhose.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That's going to be a really cool trick for you guys to learn in this video. And I also dabbled with a little bit of wiring as well. So we got a little bit of extra detail in our cockpit. Since this kit doesn't have much of an engine bay or anything detailed like that, we paid a little bit more attention to the cockpit and make it look a little bit more realistic with some wiring and so forth. And in this video, we also used some of the photo etch parts that come from Tamiya directly for this kit. For the seatbelts, there's going to be some parts for the brakes and grill and so forth. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. In the next video, we're going to be focusing on the body, decals, painting, and clear coating. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. All right, y'all, so here it is, the Epson NSX 2005. And then this kit, it comes with a nice little die-cast panel. Decals. There are not a lot of pieces in this kit. It seems like there's no engine bay at all, mostly interior parts. Decals look pretty good. In this kit, for the blue, they call for you to mix the paint. So here they ask you to mix a bunch of different paints to achieve that blue of the Epson. So we decided to go ahead and take a little shortcut, and we got this from Zero Paint. So like I mentioned, guys, there's not really an engine bay in this kit at all, but we're going to be focusing a lot of the detail in the interior here. We're going to have a little bit of work with the decals and this paint job. So to get started, today we're just going to go ahead and wash all of our pieces. I always like to wash everything with a little bit of dish soap and some warm water just to get all of the factory stuff off of it. Sometimes there's a little bit of like a texture on it. I don't know what it's like. It's like an oily substance, I guess they use for the molding. What I like to do is I'll show you guys. Okay, so first thing you want to do is make sure your sink is completely clean. You want to just use a little bit of dish soap, degrease everything, because you don't want any of the grease that may be in the sink to end up on your sprues. All right, now that this is all clean, we're going to go ahead and fill this up a little bit and put some dish soap in it and just kind of throw our pieces around in here and wash them off a little bit. Kind of want to rub them a little bit, be very gentle. Run some water over them, shake them out, and then leave them on some paper towels that should be nearby. Some of these big pieces, you can really feel some of that oily slickness to it that comes from the molding. So now here we have all of our pieces. We're going to let them dry out for a little bit. I might pat them a little bit just with a little paper towel just to speed up the process a bit, but we're going to leave them sitting for a bit to fully dry. We're going to apply a little bit of primer to them so we can start sanding down most of the flash, the body molding lines as well. So we'll see you soon. All right, so now we got everything primed up. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of some of these molding seams here from the castings. The rest of the sprues are also all in this uniform gray color. What I'm also gonna start doing is cutting off all the pieces that are supposed to be semi-gloss black. I got a little shortcut for that. We got ourselves some semi-gloss black TS29 to speed things up a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and chop everything that's X18 and paint it with that TS29 to speed things up. All right, guys, so things are a little bit messy right now, but we have separated all the pieces that need to be painted in X18 semi-gloss black. We have prepped all of them, got rid of most of the flashing. Some of these pieces, like this one here, had some extra flashing on the side we needed to get rid of. So all the pieces are ready to go and ready for some black paint. And then we're gonna also start working on the body as well. Alrighty guys, so as we wait for the paint to dry on the black pieces we just painted, I went ahead and highlighted all of our seams here that we're going to need to sand down. So I just used a regular Sharpie marker, and you want to run across these molding seams here. I'll start off with a 1000 grit normally, and I'll do it in the crosshatch, and then I'll move on to my 3000 grit and so forth. I have these little pads I got from Hobby Lobby, so we'll be trying these out. And you want to kind of just lightly go over it, applying very little pressure here. When you have these little spaces like this, I'll just fold up a little piece. Okay, so now everything is nice and clean. You can see it's almost even polished in these areas where the panel lines were. We went down to a 4000 grit. Anything further than that wasn't going to do much. So now the next steps that we're going to take is to highlight these panel lines. And what I like to do is use one of these little chisels here to give you a variety of different sizes. And we are actually going to go with a 0.2 size for these panel lines. So when you're getting these panel lines, you really want to be gentle with it your first couple of rounds. You want to have it at a nice perpendicular angle to the model, so you're actually taking off and not just scraping it. And always be very, very gentle. So this right here is what you want. You want to take off these little strands every time. You don't want to have stuff staying behind. I got this from Amazon, and they usually give you this little masking tape that you can put alongside, and it helps you guide along the way for you to not slip up and ruin your model. But with enough practice, you can kind of freehand it a little bit. The grooves are pretty deep enough to where it almost guides you in a way. So we finished the black painting process. All the pieces supposed to be semi-gloss black are now ready to go. I really like to get the black out of the way first, because usually in these kits a lot of the pieces are going to call for this X18 color or semi-gloss black. So by doing them, it gets a lot of the pieces out of the way, and you can get to building and just filling in the details. Alrighty guys, so we've made quite a lot of progress since our last video. Got a lot of work done on our interior. We did some weathering on our tires with a little Dremel, wheels painted. A lot of the kit is already done painted. When I do most of my painting for these little parts, I like keeping them in this little case here. Helps me not lose track of all my pieces. Everything's in there nice and neat. Learned a cool neat trick I'll show you guys here for carbon fiber. So check this out. This was not done with a decal. This was done with all paint. I'm going to show you guys how to do it on this piece here. It's really easy to do. All you need is 2 different color paints and some pantyhose. I know it sounds weird, but very interesting technique. You lay your darker base down first. So in this case here, I did black, and then I stretch a piece of pantyhose over it, and then I spray paint the lighter aluminum color here, and then gloss over it, and it gives you an amazing carbon fiber weave look. Look at that. And then for the edge of the seats, I used like a rubber black color just to give it a kind of different look. And inside we have that X18. In here we did a little bit of work. We painted these here to make them look like it's metal. For the electrical box here, I went from underneath and drilled 3 little holes because we'll be running some wires there for the electrical. I also got a neat little chrome marker, and I've been using it for some of the metal pieces, and it gives you a really nice finish. It's called liquid chrome mirror effect. So something cool I'm working on for the wires to give it a realistic look. I went ahead and beaded up all the wires with a little bit of aluminum, like a chrome silver color. So I just glopped up a big drop of paint on there, and then we're going to go over it with a different color about 2/3 of the way up, just to give it that look that it's like a connector, electrical connector. So we're gonna wait for this to dry, and I'll show you guys how I applied the beads to this little wire. And our body is ready to be primed. I went ahead and messed up this area here because this is going to be painted with a gloss black. Actually, we're probably just going to do an X18 so we have it in hand very easily, and then we'll just hit the whole thing with a nice gloss layer. Attach these 3 pieces here in the back that come separate for some reason, as well as the ones here in the hood, little vents, so we can get them all painted at once. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and try something different for these guys here. As I mentioned with the chair, I did a base coat of black. I wanna try different things, so we're gonna do a base coat of gunmetal. I have it in a little spray can. And then we're gonna do a top layer of gloss aluminum, and I'll show you guys how that looks. All right, guys, so here we have our pieces painted with the gunmetal color. We're gonna go ahead and stretch our pantyhose over them so we can paint the lighter color over them and give them that carbon fiber effect. In the back here, I'm using putty to hold the pieces, and it ends up being a great support for the pantyhose. So we're gonna do one piece at a time. I'm gonna do this piece first. I'll show you how I do it. Here's some regular pantyhose. You see how the fibers kind of give you that effect? Put them underneath here, stretch it out, I pinch it so the putty can hold it very nicely. So you see it's nice and stretched over it. We're going to just hit it with a quick layer of aluminum color. It's going to give that carbon fiber effect. Okay, so now we want to be very careful with this part to not smudge anything. Keep the tension. We're going to slowly unravel it. Bam. Nice little carbon fiber effect. So now what I'm going to do is just hit it with a nice little layer of gloss, and it's going to give it a nice little shine to it. And here's the result. Has a nice shine to it. You got that carbon fiber look. We're going to go ahead and do it to this piece now, and I'll show you the result. This one didn't come out perfectly because this raised part here made it hard for the pattern to get perfectly transferred into right there, but looks pretty good nonetheless. As you can see, this smaller piece came out a little bit better because the fibers are a little bit more defined there, and the bigger one, it's not as defined because of that raised edge there. Okay, so now that the first little bit of paint on these were able to dry up, I'm going to go ahead and add the second color that we're going to do and let these dry, and we'll do a little bit of work on the interior here, get things together. For the brown color, we're going to give it this dark copper XF28. Kind of wanted to give it that brass look. So usually for finer details, I'll use the tip of the toothpick, but in this case, we need a little bit more paint to glob on there, so I'm going to be using the back end of it. So that's kind of it right there.
I don't really like Caribbean empanadas.
Alrighty guys, we have quite a bit to unpack in this video. A lot has been done. Nothing's set in stone yet. These parts are all still not stuck in, but we got the dashboard done with the steering wheel. All the little buttons nice and painted. We also got the wiring done, and I unfortunately did not record it because I began to record it and it was a mess. So it was my first time around doing it. My second time around I'll record and show you guys how I did this. Along the way I did learn a new trick. So right there, these connectors, the little black part, I went ahead and cut off the outside of this paper clip here and I painted it black. And I used it as the connector there, and these little wires fit perfectly inside of it, so made it really nice and easy. So I might use that as well as a connector in the future instead of the painted, because it looks a little bit better. I'm pretty happy with the wires. In this video we're going to start breaking into the photo etch part set that we got. Here we have all of our seatbelt components. So we have a little bit of green ribbon that we're going to use. Believe it or not, the part set, it gives you this weird plastic material for the seatbelt for you to cut it out and use this, but we're not too happy with that. So we're going to be using this nice little ribbon we got and all of these little components here. And the backs of the seatbelt, I don't know if you can see that, there's two little pins right there. They're going to go straight into that. So it says 2.4 across, but they don't say how long it should be. So for these parts, the way you get them off is just with a hobby knife. I just realized this seat doesn't have the holes in the side that we need for the seat belts. So we're gonna make some holes. So I'm gonna go ahead and make these holes using our little engraving tool here, and we'll be right back. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and try the first step with this little guy right here. I'm using the putty to just hold them, and because this thing is so tiny. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, we got something. Here we go. Now there's another buckle that goes in the middle of this. Okay, now to loop it. Okay, we got it. This is going much smoother than anticipated. These are so f***ing cute. Look at this. Oh my god, they give you the measurement on the paper. I didn't think that this was to scale on the paper, but that is scale right there. If you use the little sheet for reference, that is it. I'm off by like a millimeter. Okay. Alright, we're just a smidget longer, but that's fine. Now for the final part is gonna be the little belt buckle. So now we're gonna check the size. Okay, and that's how you do one seatbelt. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other one off camera. Alrighty, y'all, so we have finished the cockpit. The seatbelts have all been installed. Wires all in place and everything is glued. I didn't get the full video of mounting the seatbelts as it was my first time. Was trying to figure out the best way to do it, so next time we'll record the whole process.